So, if you're running a growing business, chances are the term ISO 2701 has started popping up in your meetings. And let's be honest, it probably sounds like a whole lot of expensive corporate jargon, right? But what if I told you it's actually one of the most powerful keys you have to unlock some major growth? In this explainer, we're going to cut right through the noise. We're going to demystify the audit and show you exactly how to get compliant without breaking the bank. All right, let's get into it. For so many small and medium-sized businesses, this question right here, this is the entire conversation. The audit can feel like this massive, expensive wall just standing in your way. But the truth is, getting certified is the very thing that can land you those bigger deals and open up entire new markets. So we're going to look at this not as a cost, but as a genuine investment. Okay, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll get straight to why ISO 27001 is suddenly a must-have. Then, and this is the important part, we'll reveal the secret weapon for small businesses, pragmatic controls that auditors will actually accept. From there, we'll explore two incredible toolkits, one from Symantec and one from CrowdStrike. And then finally, we'll wrap up by equipping you to make the right strategic choice for your company's future. All right, so let's get right down to it. Why in the world has ISO 27001 gone from being some nice-to-have certification to an absolute must-do for any company that really wants to scale up? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Your customers are demanding it. See, big enterprise clients, they need to know that every single link in their supply chain is secure. And instead of auditing every single partner they have, they just look for that ISO 27001 stamp of approval. So the crucial point here is this certification isn't just about security. It's your ticket to play in the big leagues. At its core, the standard is all about proving you have a documented information security management system, or an ISMS. Now, don't let the acronym scare you. Just think of it like this. It's your security playbook. It's the documented, repeatable system that proves you're not just winging it when it comes to protecting your data. And of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. For a small business, these objections are completely valid. It seems way too expensive. It takes too much time. You probably don't have a huge IT security department. And honestly, you might feel like you've already got things covered. We get it. But there are much smarter, way more efficient ways to get this done. And that brings us to what might be the most important part of this entire explainer. You do not have to implement security controls the same way a massive Fortune 500 company does. The system is actually designed with flexibility in mind, and knowing how to use that flexibility is your biggest advantage. This concept right here, this is your secret weapon. A compensing control is just an alternative way to meet a security requirement when the textbook method is just not practical for you. It's basically you saying to the auditor, look, we can't build a 10-foot concrete wall, but we've installed this state-of-the-art laser grid that achieves the exact same goal. It's all about being smart, not just spending big. So let's make this super concrete. A huge corporation might force a really complex security agent onto every single employee's laptop. But for a growing business that uses contractors or has a bring-your-own-device policy, that's just an operational nightmare. The smarter move, the compensating control, is to use a technology like web isolation, which protects your data no matter what device is accessing it. You reduce the exact same amount of risk, but with a fraction of the cost and the headache. Okay, so let's move to our first toolkit and see how this all builds out. We're going to start with Symantec, whose entire philosophy is really about prevention. It's about building a fortress with really strong walls and checkpoints to stop threats before they can even get started. We're going to focus on how these four tools work together as a system. You've got endpoint security locking down the device, the web security service and isolation protecting all your web traffic, and then ZTNA, which completely rethinks how we grant remote access. This right here is how you generate undeniable proof for an auditor. Symantec's host integrity feature, it basically acts like a bouncer for your network. Before a remote laptop can connect, it gets checked. Is your firewall on? Is your antivirus up to date? Then you can literally print a compliance report that says, here is our security policy and here is the hard evidence that it's enforced on every device every single time. It's an auditor's dream come true. And this illustrates that compensating control we just talked about perfectly. So you've got a problem, right? Your sales team has to visit new, potentially risky websites to find leads. You can't just block them. Well, web isolation creates this digital bubble. It opens the website on a secure server in the cloud, and then it streams a safe, visual-only version to the user. Any malware, any threat, it all stays in the bubble. Your network remains completely untouched. The risk never even gets to your endpoint. And when it comes to remote work, Auditors are getting pretty tired of old-school VPNs that basically hand over the keys to your entire network kingdom. Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA, it flips that model on its head. It starts from a place of zero trust and only grants a specific user access to one specific application and only after verifying who they are. It is the principle of least privilege in action, and it dramatically shrinks your attack surface. Okay, now let's shift gears and look at a completely different but equally powerful philosophy. CrowdStrike's Falcon platform isn't just about building walls. It's about having unparalleled visibility and the power to neutralize threats at lightning speed. For your audit, the real game changers here are its incredible endpoint detection and response, or EDR, its ability to see vulnerabilities across your whole organization in real time, and, get this, the 24/7 human threat hunting service that's always watching your back. Think of it this way. If Symantec is about showing the auditor your strong locks, CrowdStrike is about showing them the high-definition security footage of everything that happens. You can satisfy the monitoring activities requirement by showing an auditor the exact play-by-play of an attempted attack, from the moment it started to the microsecond it was shut down. That is irrefutable proof of your vigilance. And this is a massive leap forward for any company with a mobile workforce. I mean, old vulnerability scans would run maybe once a week and completely miss any laptop that happened to be offline. Falcon's agent is always on, constantly reporting back. This gives you a living, breathing, and always accurate map of your security posture. No more blind spots. Okay, so we've seen two world-class but fundamentally different approaches to security. Making a choice here isn't just a tech decision for your IT team, it's a critical business and risk management decision for you as a leader. And really, it all boils down to this single powerful question. As an organization, what do you value more? Perfecting your defenses to prevent an attack from ever happening in the first place? Or mastering your ability to detect and neutralize an attack the second it appears? This table lays out the strategic choice perfectly. See, Symantec's strength, the story you tell your auditor, is all about prevention and control. And it's backed up by hard evidence like those host integrity reports. CrowdStrike's primary strength, on the other hand, is proving world-class detection and response with its detailed telemetry logs as undeniable evidence. Both are fantastic, both are valid paths to passing your audit. They just reflect very different priorities. Here's the simplest way to think about it. Are you the kind of leader who wants to invest in building higher, thicker walls with more checkpoints and stronger gates? That's the prevention-first mindset. Or do you believe that no wall is ever perfect, and you'd rather invest in more guards, better cameras, and an elite response team? That's the detection-first philosophy. And that brings us to the final and most important question you should be asking in your next leadership meeting. Are you simply looking for a tool to check a box and pass this year's audit? Or are you ready to define a real security philosophy and make a strategic investment that will not only win you new business, but will actively defend your company for years and years to come?